cabinet or something. And my joke is, I tell Bob that he wrote so many letters to the high school league over, 50 years that they rented some off-site storage space to hold them all. So,
wow.
Because Bob would let his. That's not a true story, but that's the needle I give Bob. Hey Bob, I visited your letters. I went to the off-site storage facility to see all your letters. And just a great guy. Just wonderful to see Bob, and it's always a treat, even if I can only spend half an hour or 40 minutes. It's just a great thing to be able to see Bob.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is at John's journal, along with everything else John reports on. Let's go to a big day in Rochester.
Yeah, I talked about this on the show last week, Jim. I was down in Rochester Saturday, most of the day for the HLV TRC showdown. I'll break that down, the Hiawatha Valley League Three Rivers Conference. I think this is the third year they've done this. They basically mix teams from the two conferences in kind of an all-day challenge. So they had 7 girls games, 7 boys games on 2 courts at the Mayo Civic Center, and a really good day of basketball. And the biggest game was in a Class 2A boys game, Caledonia and Lake City. They filled up the place for that one. Really a fun atmosphere in the auditorium there. There's the big main arena at the Mayo Civic Center. That was not available because Paw Patrol had taken over, but that building is such a cool place. They still were able to set up 2 courts, one in the auditorium, which is kind of an old-fashioned gymnasium with the theater seating, up around on the balcony. Really a neat place. And then in their exhibition hall, they just laid down a basketball court, set up some bleachers, and had the other games in there. But really, this boys game was really fun to see. And Caledonia, ranked number 3 in 2A, beat Lake City, ranked number 2 in 2A, 69-64. And Caledonia, as we know, has all the football players who play basketball and every other sport. And Lake City went to state last year. They're always good in boys basketball. So that was kind of the game of the day going in, and it sure turned out that way. That was really fun. And I ran into an old friend there. Speaking of Bob McDonald and old friends, I saw a familiar face, Dave Thorson, who was the basketball coach at De La Salle forever, won, like 9 state championships there. And now he's an assistant coach at Colorado State. So he was on the recruiting trail, hanging out in Rochester at the showdown. So I sat with him during the Caledonia Lake City game, and we're showing each other pictures I'm showing him pictures of my new grandson. He's showing me pictures of his daughter, I think she's in 6th grade, and kind of catching up with each other. And the funniest single moment, and I tweeted about this, we're sitting there and at kind of a media table in the bleachers, and this older gentleman behind us taps Dave on the shoulder, smiles, and says, "I recognize you. Are you an official?" And boy, was that did Dave smile there. Dave laughed out loud. He turned around. He said, "No, I'm a coach, but I've sure helped a lot of officials out." So that was pretty good. I don't know if Dave Thorson's ever been mistaken for an official before, but it was a great day of basketball down in Rochester. I'm so grateful those guys invited me down there for some great Southeast Minnesota hoops.
Excellent. All right, we're going to wrap up this show with Thank a Ref and Athlete of the Week reminder. We do have a new Gopher show that includes Marcus Fuller, but also Ryan James, who's great on high school recruiting. So if you're interested in John Millea's show, you also might be interested in Ryan James' insight into basketball recruiting. And those guys are also going to cover all Minnesota Gopher sports, not just basketball, although, of course, it is basketball season at the moment. And once again, thank you to our producer, Brandon Morton. And please follow us on Twitter, Talk North Pod. And we'll be back next week with John's year-end show. So let's go to Thank a Ref.
Yeah, this one is I don't have a specific referee we're thanking here, Jim, but I had an idea percolating in my head, which seems like a dangerous proposition. I was thinking of like Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola or whatever company producing a limited series of cans and bottles. So I fired off a tweet. I found Coca-Cola's Twitter handle, and I just said, here's an idea for at Coca-Cola in the face of the growing shortage of officials for youth/high school sports all over the country. How about producing a limited edition series of hashtag Thank a Ref bottles and cans? And I actually got a reply from the Coca-Cola Twitter people. I don't know that means anything. And it seemed like kind of a canned reply. Hey, thanks for your suggestion. We'll run it up the flagpole. So I'm not anticipating seeing Thank-A-Ref Coke bottles and cans anytime soon. But I think corporate-wise, that'd be kind of a cool marketing deal if they did something like that. Just because this problem is becoming, known more and more around the country, and I don't think we have it as bad here as in some places. But and I'm no marketing genius, but I thought, hey, well, let's try this and just see if we can get somebody's attention and give them something to ponder. So we'll see. You never know.
You are a marketing genius. You came up with a job where you drive around in a branded Camry and visit schools all over the state, and you become famous. I think you're like the best marketing person I know.
There you go. That's all I needed to hear, Jim. Thank you.
There you go. Now let's wrap up this show with Athlete of the Week, and then we'll be back next week with the year-end show.
Yeah, this is an Athlete of the Week who's an anonymous Athlete of the Week. I don't know who this is. It's a boys basketball player from Redwood Valley High School in Redwood Falls. I only know this because of a tweet, and the tweet basically was a shout-out to this Redwood Valley basketball player who, before a game, and I don't know if this game was in Redwood Valley or somewhere else, was apparently at the concession stand, and there was a little kid there who wanted a slice of pizza but didn't have enough money to pay for the slice of pizza. So this basketball player, this boy from Redwood Valley, helped the dude out, helped him cover the price of his pizza. And the last sentence on the tweet was this: people notice goodness, and they sure do. So shout out to Redwood Valley and everybody there, and especially this anonymous basketball player who helped a young kid get a piece of pizza at the concession stand. Way to go.
Good stuff from John. As always, we'll be back next week with John's year-end show. Thanks to everyone who listens. Check out TalkNorth.com. Subscribe on your favorite podcast app, and we will talk to you next week.